All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Bandits killed over 10,000 Nigerians in Tinubu's first 2 years. Amnesty International, over 10,000 in just 24 months. Yet Tinubu and his cohorts have the nerves to say that security has improved in the last 24 months. Governor of Borno State raised an alarm about resurgence of Boko Haram in the state, and Minister of Information quickly shut him down, claiming that Tinubu regime had decimated insecurity. But that was not the worst. The worst was when the Chief of Naval Staff confessed that only God, he said that only a spiritual intervention can help the Nigerian army against insecurity. And army chief said this, but Bayo Ononuga and Oshomole, who can't even handle catapult, came out and said that it's a lie, that security had improved. It goes to show that this administration is not even willing to do anything to improve the current situation of this country. Because if you can't even admit that there is a problem, how can you think of the proper way to solve it? Every aspect of our lives has worsened under Tinubu, and the world is wondering how much more can Nigerians take. And few hours ago, reports came out showing that the Muslim ticket has failed Nigerian Muslims to the point that they now gather in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, to rain curses on Tinubu and APC governors. The information got to Aso Rock, and now the Tinubu regime is begging Muslims to stop cursing Tinubu in Mecca. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video here is an interview of the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Ojo. He is considered the best minister under Tinubu because he has made it very easy for Nigerians to get their international passport. But even he is tired of the passport hype. So on this occasion, he wanted to list other achievements, and he ended up shooting himself in the foot. He said security had improved. He said border security had improved. Two big lies. Then he began saying Tinubu appointed young people. It was just a sham of an interview. See the video.
On the occasion of his second anniversary, today makes it 2 years of the Renewed Hope agenda, and also to congratulate Nigerians, for the last 2 years. It's been 2 years of laying a solid background, of solid foundation, and 2 years that we hope will define the long-term stability, socio-economic stability of our great country. Having said that, for me, it's not about passport. The same aggression that we had for passport, we also had for other areas. For instance, area of border control. For instance, area of our critical assets, which you can see now in terms of our solid minerals, that the revenue has gone up, insecurity has reduced, because in partnership with the Ministry of Solid Minerals, we were able to come up with the mine marshals to combat that particular issue, and of course support from other security agencies. And of course, in the area of fire service, we have also, so it's not just about passport, it's just about us being in a haste, to deliver the Renewed Hope sweet experience, to Nigerians, and also for us to also understand that we represent a particular generation, and the burden of performance of that generation to a large extent lies, on us. Mr. President has been so magnanimous and so gracious in appointing young people into strategic positions. It's not just about appointing young people, but in terms of the position, because, for instance, you can appoint young people as special assistant, PA, minister of this, that. But when you look at critical, for instance, who is the minister of communication, technology, and digital economy? Bosun Tijani, he's young. Minister of Interior is young. Minister of Youth, Ayod and Wisdom, he's young. You look at even Minister of Steel Development, which is an emerging sector. That's the backbone of industrialization. And when the word Audu, Prince Audu, is a young person. Who is the Minister of Women Affairs? She's young. As a matter of fact, I think she just marked her 45th birthday some couple of days ago. That means that she was appointed when she was 40. She was like 43.
You saw that. Now, maybe there are certain states in this country that should no longer consider themselves part of Nigeria. Because if we look at what is happening in Benue State, in Borno State, Plateau State, Zamfara State, and we hear the Minister of Interior saying security has improved in Nigeria, then maybe Benue and Borno and those ones I mentioned are not part of Nigeria. We are talking about states in Nigeria, even in the southwest, a state like Ondo State, that cannot go a single day without at least one terrorist attack happening for the past 12 months. And the Minister of Interior is seated there to say that security has improved. Then he said border security is in place, border security has improved. But in the last closed door security meeting held at Aso Rock, the Chief of Defense Staff told Tinubu that the chief cause of the recent resurgence of Boko Haram is the porosity of our borders. Look at it right there. The CDS confirmed that. He said we have failed as a nation to secure our borders. But here is the Minister of Interior listing border security as one of his achievements. Even Akpabio spoke about our failure to secure our borders. Look at it, it's right there on your screen, on the floor of the Senate. So, Mr. Minister, what you are listing as an achievement has been highlighted as a failure by your fellow APC members. And then he went on and on about how Tinubu appointed young people. What is the use of appointing young people who have ended up failing more than Buhari's relics? Those who clamor for youth inclusion are not just interested in feeding their curiosity. The aim is to see positive results. But in the case of APC and Tinubu, youths have been a complete embarrassment to this country, from Yaya Bello to Betta Edu and the rest of them. What a shame. Now, the next video here is just about 19 seconds. Very short, but very profound. The kind of economics that Tinubu and his men are doing is not in the books, is strange, and that is why this country is going downhill. Imagine Tinubu's special advisor on the economy, Tope Faswa, talking about the benefit of the Naira being weak. While all other countries are striving to make their currency strong, this man is saying that it is good for the Naira to be weak, even talking about the benefit of a weak Naira. See the video.
Weakening of the naira, but you can see that weakening of the naira, the benefits of that showing up in the books of our states and local government, whose revenues have tripled, most of them, whether it was their internal revenue or the allocations they get from federal government, have tripled so far.
You heard that. When I say that the APC have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy, you can see what I mean. I have never heard anywhere in my life that a country strives to make its currency weak so that the allocation of governors can double and triple. When your currency is weak, especially when you are an import-based nation, the prices of every single thing skyrockets. But you are not worried about that. You are saying that the allocation of governors tripled, doubled. How does that affect the common man, for God's sake? You said that you removed subsidy and that from there you are able to double and triple the allocation of governors. Was that not what you said? Why are you still tying the weakening of the Naira to allocations of governors doubling? These men are just completely destroying the economy of this country. It's so painful. Now, let us look at the top story. Last year, the Tinubu administration claimed to have released 90 billion naira to subsidize Hajj. Look at it. Tinubu approved 90 billion naira to subsidize the cost of 2024 Hajj, says Shetima. But when pilgrims got to Mecca, they realized that there was no provision for any subsidy. It became clear that the money either was not released or had been embezzled by the same people that released it, to the point that ICPC began probing it. Look at it. ICPC probes into alleged 90 billion naira high subsidy fraud. Now, when the pilgrims realized that they were stranded, the embarrassment was massive. Every country that was represented knew what was happening with the pilgrims from Nigeria. At a time, there was no more food and even shelter became a problem. They now gathered themselves and began cursing Tinubu, Shetima, and APC governors. They began cursing them. Subsequently, it became a practice that when Nigerians go to Saudi Arabia, they will gather in Mecca and curse Nigerian leaders. Now, news reached Aso Rock that Muslims gather in Mecca anytime they go to Saudi Arabia to curse Tinubu. And now the Tinubu administration, through NACON, National Hajj Commission, is begging Muslims to stop cursing Tinubu and governors in Mecca. Look at how the papers reported it. Don't curse Tinubu, governors, other leaders in Mecca. NACON tells Hajj pilgrims. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Ulama team, has advised Nigerian pilgrims to pray for their leaders and not curse them as they remain part of the society. The clerics offered the advice while speaking with journalists on the sidelines of the ongoing Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca on Thursday. Rafi Al-Ijebui, Grand Mufti of Ogun and member of the Nakon Ulama team for the 2025 Hajj operation, urged Nigerian pilgrims to pray for their leaders and country in the same manner as the Prophet Muhammad did for Mecca. As far as the country is concerned, every pilgrim here in the Holy Land should love Nigeria and should pray for Nigeria. He or she should love Nigeria the way the Prophet loved Mecca. As for our leaders, it is responsibility of every pilgrim, male and female, to pray that Allah should inspire our leaders with what will benefit the masses of the country. No pilgrim should curse the leaders because they are the product of your society. You and I should adjust where it is necessary, he said. Sheikh Garba Al-Yolawi, Chief Imam, Area 10 Mosque, Abuja, urged pilgrims to pray for Allah's guidance to direct Nigerian leaders aright. According to Al-Yolawi, Nigeria faces numerous issues including security, economic challenges, moral decay, social vices, and leadership challenges. We need divine intervention. With about 50,000 pilgrims sincerely praying, Allah can change things, but we must not pray for the driver of the car to crash while we are still passengers in the same car. If the driver crashes, so we do. And the driver here is Tinubu. And this ulama is begging the pilgrims not to curse him. Citizens gathering to curse Tinubu and governors in Mecca. This is the height of it, because these people believe so much that God dwells in that place. It is the Holy Land. They believe God is definitely there. So cursing Tinubu and governors there simply means that they detest these men from the depth of their souls. And of course, Nigerians who go to Mecca are not even poor. It is not the poor that goes to Mecca. These are people who are above average. They are considered above average in Nigeria. Yet they detest the poverty, the suffering, and the hopelessness that the Tinubu government has dealt on Nigerians. Imagine if it is poor people that they took there. Imagine the way the curses will be. This means that the Muslim ticket has completely failed them. And as we know, every tribe in Nigeria is represented there. Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, every tribe is represented at that pilgrimage. There are about 50,000 people going there that are being warned not to curse Tinubu and the governors. So make no mistake, what is happening in Nigeria today is not peculiar to any tribe or religion. We are all in this together. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Sam Miki says, so they know what they deserve. We all know what we are doing. Sha, that is it. And Joseph here says, they are already cursed. No need for the plea. And Hyman says, Heyman is saying they know they deserve to be cursed with their attitude. And Toba Shagari here says, the man that started planning on his re-election on his first day in office has nothing to do with the protection of lives and property of Nigerians except politics. Tinubu is totally aloof, detached, and unconcerned about the plight of innocent Nigerians. And that is why people are now gathering in Mecca to curse him and his governors. And I just want this anger to be translated into something more productive. Because if you can go to Mecca to curse a man, it means you really feel terrible about the pain that he's dishing out to Nigerians. But let it translate into something meaningful. Let it translate into a move to get him out of Aso Rock. And there are so many ways we can do this. Nothing is too small. In your locality, mobilize people to ensure that they stand to defend their votes after voting against the APC. And little by little, everything will fall in place if we are able to keep tribe and religion aside. We can take our country back. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because not because of una. Na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.